Hey, everybody. Thank you so very much for clicking on, taking care of a little bit of production here at the last minute as we get underway. All right. What? Whoa, 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 whoa. No, no, no. I don't want that. Hang on. Here we go. All right. I'm back. Thank you very much for clicking on. It is World Situation Report night. We do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Chris will be joining us at 9 p.m. In the meantime, I've got a couple of videos, about 5 minutes in length, that I'm going to show, and we'll go ahead and get started with that right away. The first one is from um, The Hill, and there we go. All right. First one is from The Hill, and it's Biden lied about beheaded babies. Personally seeing pictures among Israeli victims? Question mark. And again, this comes from The Hill. Um, we're starting out with this tonight. Then I've got another quick video, a few quick headlines, and then we'll get Chris up at 9 o'clock. The reason I'm starting with this is because I had a conversation the other day with a friend who said something about um, the Palestinians not clarifying the difference between Hamas and Palestinians, but nonetheless, that's what happens in America. He said the Palestinians were beheading babies, and how could anyone condone that? Now, I saw a lot of horrific stuff that Hamas did to Israelis. I did not personally ever see. I saw dead children. Okay, I did not see any beheaded babies. And with all that being said, let's take a listen to about the first 4 or 5 minutes of this. This is 27 minutes long, as you can see, and once again, it comes from The Hill. Let's turn the volume up.
That he saw pictures of Israeli babies, a claim that is still in serious dispute. Let's watch what he said.
I never really thought that I would see and have confirmed pictures of terrorists.
We're going to get a commercial, of course, as soon as we start. Just for a second here, I'm talking over it.
Beheading children. I never thought I'd ever. Anyway, but there are countries in the region that are trying to be of some help, including Arab nations that are trying to be of some help. So, anyway.
Now, according to the Washington Post, a White House spokesperson later clarified that United States officials and the president have not seen pictures or videos of beheaded children or seen reports independently confirming that. The spokesperson said that Biden based his comments about these alleged atrocities on claims from Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu's spokesperson, and also media reports from within Israel. Israel Defense Forces declined to comment to the Post on the state of the victims' bodies.
And just this morning, CNN reported that Israel cannot confirm the specific claim that babies were beheaded in a Hamas attack, according to officials contradicting previous public statements. Meanwhile, Israeli photojournalist.
Okay, again, just to be clear, there was enough done that getting caught up in semantics may not be the smart thing at the moment. I understand Biden heard it from somebody else and took it to be true, but this is like and this is going to be a focus because this is all just starting to come out. As you saw, CNN just brought it back up this morning, and obviously it's a topic on The Hill. The Hill is the congressional news source, if you will. And we shouldn't get caught up in um, whether or not babies' heads were cut off, because they're going to end up babies dying on both sides, and there are other questions we need to be asking. But I'm going to play a little bit more of this just because the two of them get into a pretty good fight, and if you want a little drama.
Or in Ziv, who covers conflict and was allegedly part of the media tour, commented on X, "I'm getting a lot of questions about reports of Hamas beheaded babies that were published after the media tour in the village. During the tour, we didn't see any evidence of this, and the Army spokesperson or commanders also didn't mention any such incidents." Ziv goes on to say, during the tour, journalists were allowed to speak to the hundreds of soldiers on site without the supervision of the Army spokesperson team. I-24 reporter said heard it, quote, from soldiers. I spoke with in Kfar Aza yesterday didn't mention beheaded babies. The Army spokesperson stated, "We cannot confirm at this point. We are aware of the heinous acts Hamas is capable of."
Ziv also says, quote, "This doesn't mean that war crimes were not committed. The scene in Kfar Aza was horrific, with dozens of bodies of Israelis murdered in their homes. Sadly, Israel will now use these false claims to escalate the bombing of Gaza and to justify its war crimes there." That's according to that source. Now, as we covered yesterday, S News reported that an IDF spokesperson for them that more than one Israeli soldier seen young children that were decapitated, and in addition, the head of a civilian emergency response organization told CBS News that he had seen these atrocities. Hamas has denied the allegations that the organization committed crimes against women and children.
Hamas has rejected allegations that it committed crimes against women and children. This is the quote: "Some Western media outlets continue to spread Zionist slander and lie about our Palestinian people and their resistance, which falsely and slanderously quoted allegations that members of the Palestinian resistance beheaded children and assaulted women without any evidence to support their lies and claims." Hamas strongly condemns the baseless allegations.
Okay, what we're seeing here in full force is the importance of information or misinformation, and the importance of public opinion, saying things that may not be true technically, just to inflame emotions, because a lot of emotions got inflamed over just hearing that's what Hamas did, and that's the number one thing that gets thrown out there. What they did is horrific. I've seen horrific things. I haven't shown them on here. I'm not going to show them on here. But at the same time, everything that happens over there is a retribution for something that happened in the past, and it's not going to stop with what's going on now. I want to quickly go to a few minutes of this. Iranian plots to harm dissidents and former U.S. government officials. Chris and I have been talking about Iranian sleeper cells in the United States for a couple of years anyway, with what is going on in Iran, or I'm sorry, well, concerning Iran, what's going on in Gaza and with Israel at the moment. We mentioned the other night, we talked the other night about Iranian assassins. And Chris brought up that Trump is on that list, and there's a pretty significant bounty on his head for whoever were to take him out. And we got called out. We got reported to just about everybody you could report anything to, because it was, supposedly we didn't have any concrete evidence that it happened or anything like that, which we had enough information. We were comfortable talking about it. And just in case anybody wonders, 60 60 Minutes is now talking about it.
Rising between us and Iran since the Israel-Hamas war began. Almost every week, Iranian-backed militias have attacked U.S. bases in Syria and Iraq. It's the latest example and a serious escalation of Tehran's use of proxy fighters like Hezbollah and Hamas. Tonight you'll hear of another type of proxy that Iran deploys that receives far less attention. Tehran is hiring hitmen around the world in an effort to intimidate, abduct, and assassinate perceived enemies of the regime. And they're doing it right here on U.S. soil.
The story will continue in a moment.
No.
This video was posted online by a channel affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard. It vows to kill former American government officials, including President Trump, to avenge the 2020 U.S. assassination of the terrorism mastermind Qasem Soleimani.
Exactly what Chris said.
Threats like this have been deemed credible enough that several of these officials have been under round-the-clock protection, including former Defense Secretary Mark Esper, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Iran reportedly offered a hitman $1 million to kill him, and John Bolton, the former National Security Advisor.
They bargained the price for me would be $300,000, which I have to say I found insulting.
So what exactly was the plot against you?
The Revolutionary Guard sought to procure either my kidnapping or my assassination, not directly by a Revolutionary Guard's member, but by seeking a hitman who would carry out the job either in the U.S. or abroad.
The FBI has an arrest warrant out for this Iranian officer claiming that he hired the hitman online to travel to Washington, corner Bolton in a garage, and kill him. But it turned out, lucky for Bolton, the assassin was an FBI informant.
This was not internet chatter. This was a negotiation to murder an American citizen, a former government official.
Is the threat against you ongoing?
We've got marked Secret Service cars that say police, United States Secret Service, outside my home.
We talked to the FBI
And by the way, a marked government official car was people attempted to break into it earlier this evening, and Secret Service agents that were assigned, I believe they were assigned to the president's granddaughter, actually fired shots at the people trying to break into the car, into the government Secret Service car. So look for that to be coming up maybe on your news. I don't know if it'll get talked about or not. But anyway, you can watch the rest of that 60 Minutes on YouTube. Couple of quick headlines before we get Chris up here. Chicago migrants return to Venezuela ahead of winter, saying there's nothing for us here. So those that have been bussed into Chicago have decided to go back, a lot of them being Venezuelan, before it gets too cold. And it's already there, in my opinion. But it's not as bad as it's going to get. Road closures announced ahead of the March for Israel. In case you have not heard, there is a significant march scheduled for tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Streets near the National Mall will be closed to traffic. And the march gets underway tomorrow at, it's from 1 to 3. I'll probably be on the
security
air
preparations
tomorrow,
are underway
or
on the National Mall for a massive March for Israel rally set to take place tomorrow. WUSA 9's Katie Kairos is live there this morning with details on how police, Katie, plan to keep the event safe. What does this look like down there?
I think they open at 10,
Good
and
morning,
there's
Andy.
a
Well, as you can see, the security fencing is already up here. We're at 4th and Madison, extending down between 4th and 7th Street so far. And of course, More
will
fencing
be the,
will be going up. We're right here across from the National
march,
Gallery over
and it's
more
the
security
March
distance
for
to come. And
Israel,
this started
organized by
going up
Jewish
over the weekend,
Federations of North
preparing for
America.
this rally tomorrow.
Now there
The
was
event is organized by the
possibly
Jewish Federations
100,000
of North
person
America, and it will be
march
held between
in
1
support of
and 3 p.m.
Palestine
tomorrow afternoon. Organizers expect
last
between
weekend
40
in
to
Washington,
60,000 people to
D.C.
show up, which means there will be a lot of road closures in the area. It's been more
This
than a month
event
since Hamas' October 7
tomorrow,
attack on
the reason
Israel,
I'm going to be
where the group
broadcasting
murdered
it
more than 1,000 people and took more than 200
simply
people hostage,
because
including some
the
Americans.
Department of Homeland
Soon after Israel
Security
launched its retaliation
have
on
labeled this
Gaza.
event a
Rallies
Tier
for both
1
Israel and Palestine
level
have happened in
event.
cities across the country, including a
So,
pro-Palestinian march from Freedom Plaza
you know,
earlier this
anything
month that
could
drew
happen.
tens of
There are
thousands.
extremists
And
on all
organizers of the
sides,
upcoming rallies
and
say that possible speakers will
if
be
you are
the
going to
families
have
of
some
the
kind
hostages
of
and evacuees who were affected by the attacks. They
terrorist
say that their
attack,
message is to reject
and
anti-Semitism
you're wanting to
in all forms
influence
and to
for
call
the
for
side
the
of
release
Palestine,
hostages.
this
Now,
event
with more
would
on
be
the road
one that
closures and how they're going to be affecting you,
law
let's go to
enforcement
traffic
should
specialist
closely
Lindsay
monitor.
Nance.
Thank you, Katie.
Now, some of these closures
couple
have
other
actually
headlines
already
real
gone place,
quick.
or they're getting ready to
A lot of
go
talk
in place
about
today.
Trump and his speech. This story, the headline is Trump with supporters reportedly wants to establish a dictatorship in the U.S. We've talked about that on here. Trump's sister, Marianne Trump Berry, was found dead today in her apartment at the age of 86. I think Chris is on here. I'm not over there yet, but I think I heard him beep in here. And I was hoping he'd be here when I got to this part. This is why Israel's doomed to lose the war, according to Weeb Union. This is a group of Israeli artillery that appear to have gotten into a choke point and were ambushed. It doesn't look like it was totally destroyed, but it was